Before I start today's video, I kindly ask you guys to like and subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. Motivates me a little bit more, and it keeps this content going, So yeah, like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the main topic of the video. So, hero bans in Marvel Rivals. Today I wanted to make a quick video in regards to my thoughts on a certain topic, and this is specifically addressed to anybody that is not, I want to say below Eternity, but at the same time I want to say below Celestial, but just to be safe, I'll just say anybody that is below Celestial 2, right? And no, before I get into it, this is not me rank shaming or anything like that. Like, for crying out loud, I'm not even Celestial. Well, I was, but I've been kind of playing the game a little less. This is more me talking about how people approach bans in the game that are within those ranks that I said, anything below Celestial 2. Now, I know when it comes to Marvel Rivals, and this isn't something that it just applies to this game, but it applies to a lot of multiplayer games, is that, people that play the game will naturally watch content that is based around that, i.e. you guys are here watching me talk about it. But I kind of wanted to touch upon, like, I don't want to say the risks of doing so, but the risks of watching certain creators, and I won't name any names because this isn't necessarily directed to anyone specifically, this is just more as a generalized thing, or some people might take their favorite streamers' opinions and turn it into their own, and that's something that's just internet thing. Unfortunately, this isn't just applying to Marvel Rivals or games, this is just like real life, unfortunately. But you may be asking, how does this tie back to hero bans in Marvel Rivals? The point I wanted to give was that whenever I queue up for a lot of matches, because I haven't been really active in ranked, I kind of fell off the 7 ranks, I believe it is. I think it's 7 divisions. So, like, I'm going my way through Diamond, right? And I'm making my way through it pretty easily. I only have, like, about 4 hours, and I'm already almost to GM. And this is across the time span of, like, a week. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I've been busy a lot with, like, work stuff and other IRL stuff. And I didn't want to lose my touch in the game or, like, not know what I'm talking about. I want to keep some semblance of roots in there. And one thing that I've noticed while playing, and for reference, I play on console, so there's that if you want to take that however you want. And one thing that I noticed is that people tend to ban characters that they really shouldn't be concerned with at the rank that they're at. Like, for example, I've been seeing a lot of Hela bans, I've been seeing a lot of Daredevil bans, I've even seen some Psylocke bans. And this isn't to say that the characters that I've just described are not a problem, right? I don't know too much about Daredevil, but like someone like Hela, she's quite annoying, right? I think anyone could say that. But it's like, do you really think that, a Hela in Plat and Diamond is going to be hitting her shots? Like, I don't think she will. Or do you think that the Psylocke is going to be correctly flanking within Plat or below? I don't think she will. My point is, a lot of people take these bans from like streamers or other content creators of the game who play this game all day, every day, like 12 hours a day. Well, I mean, some of them don't even do 12 hours a day. Some of them do like 6 to 8 hours. Let's be realistic. I also don't want to antagonize these content creators or streamers because that's not really my point here. My point is that these people play the game. They live, breathe, and, crap this game. And anybody that isn't within like mid-celestial to above, especially like Eternity and above, we don't do that. We don't grind the game out for like 10 hours a day on stream. That's not our job, right? We have our own lives, we have our own duties to fulfill. So whenever you see your favorite content creators or any sort of content creator about the game in general that streams the game for like many hours a day, talk about like, this is the character you should be banning, this is the character you shouldn't be banning, these are like meta picks, it kind of doesn't apply to us. Look, I'm not going to say that whatever they're saying is not true, because it probably is to some extent based on their experience and their experience alone. Thing is, their experience is in the top like 1%. And again, this isn't me trying to shame anybody that isn't, like top 50 or whatever in the world, but these are a special subset of players that have the time to put this much into the game. And like 98 to 99% of players that play this game don't really have that luxury, right? So what I'm saying in a way is that whenever they say, hey, Psylocke is really good, she needs to be insta-banned, that's sort of only pertaining to their experience in the top 1%. That doesn't necessarily correlate or translate to whatever everyone else is experiencing in the game. And when I mean everyone else, again, I mean anyone that's like, say, below Celestial 2. Because let's be honest, that's why you see like certain streamers and content creators also do 2 versions of tier lists. One version is for their experiences, their top 1% experience, and the other one is like what they think is good in like the lower ranks. And I feel like not a lot of people pay attention to those ones. I in fact think that's a great idea that content creators and other Marvel Rival streamers do, is they make 2 separate tier lists. Granted, I think you should trust their word with the top 1% more than you should the second one. But because they know the game so well, they can sort of guess like who would be better in the lower ranks. So there's some merit to it, right? But I see a lot of people tend to ban the trending bans of the 1% instead in these like lower rank matches, instead of actual characters that, you know, they themselves sort of struggle with. Like I remember, I was not doing YouTube before, but I remember saying like, hey, Squirrel in the lower ranks is a menace. But everyone in the lower ranks, when I was going through them, they would say like, oh no, Squirrel's bad, Squirrel's this and that, blah blah blah. And that is echoing the sentiment from what higher ranked players had to say about Squirrel at the time, is that she really isn't that great. She's a very niche pick. So because of that, you got anyone that isn't their rank sort of not, you know, thinking she's a problem, even though they're getting pub stomped by her. Like when was it, if someone could have reminded me in the comments, when they had to nerf her? I don't know, I just found that funny. However, I did want to say that there are characters that I think that are really good throughout any rank. I'm sure there's still a few. I remember when Wolverine was at that part. Winter Soldier, before he got his ult nerf, was like sort of at that part too. That will sort of come through. That will still exist, right? But for the most part, it's characters that, you know, your Moon Knights, your Magics, they're easily dealable in the higher ranks, but they're really good in the lower ranks. Like, I don't know, again, I'm not too familiar with Daredevil, but I think I've heard in the higher ranks, Daredevil's pretty good. So in turn, I've seen a lot of Daredevil bans in my matches as I'm climbing through, and I'm just like, guys, I don't think anybody at this rank knows how to use Daredevil. Like, let's ban characters that, you know, what your average plat or diamond would fall for. And again, this isn't an insult, this isn't a rank shame, this is just kind of being realistic. And, you know, in the end, it's more so about everyone having a great time and winning our matches, because I've seen people not deal with Moon Knight, not deal with Magic. Like, I can't tell you how little I see Psylocke and how little I see certain other characters that are more skewed to the higher ranks in terms of value. Like Phoenix, I don't see her at all in the metal ranks as I'm climbing up. Like, I swear to God, I do not see her at all. But all in all, this video isn't, again, to shame anybody. This video isn't to, like, you know, look down on somebody that is in the lower ranks. Again, this is more so as a PSA to everybody that is in the metal ranks or below, just to be a little careful when it comes to sort of how you approach a match and like what you take from these sort of higher end content creators when it comes to tier lists and stuff. I'd say it's, you know, think a little bit more independently, right? Think about your experiences, because I mean, hey, if you struggle with Moon Knight, that's okay, dude. Like, literally, like, that's okay. You learn, you improve, that's fine. If you need to ban the Moon Knight because you see Moon Knights just everywhere, just harassing your entire team, then ban him. It's okay. You don't need to ban the same characters that the top streamers are banning, because those characters aren't necessarily applying to you. We all sort of go through these ranks at our own pace, have our own struggles. So the next time you see people in your plat match as you're climbing try to ban somebody like Hela or, you know, Psylocke, just think of the times that you see your teammates fall for the Penny Mines, how they fall for Magic's play, how they can't deal with the Black Panther, and how difficult it is for them to kill Mr. Fantastic. Keep these experiences in mind and associate your bans with your personal experience instead of the experience of others. Don't ban Mantis, don't ban Psylocke, you know, don't ban Daredevil, don't ban Phoenix. Let's have it be more okay to ban the Pennies, the Black Panthers, the Hawkeyes, the Iron Mans, the Mr. Fantastics, the Angelas, the Punishers, the Iron Fists, the Adam Warlocks, the Thing, for crying out loud. Again, there's no ban shaming here, and I think that's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that we should, I'm sounding like a broken record, but we should keep things based on our personal experiences of what we are experiencing within that certain rank that we're in. And what I'm talking about here is the metal ranks. Blah. But I've been talking for way too long. Again, this was supposed to be a short video. So yeah, just, you know, ban the characters you are having difficulty, because most likely because of the rank you're in, it's most likely that somebody else within your team is also struggling with those characters. But, you know, nobody wants to sort of come out with it because they kind of feel ashamed to say it. Like, I've peaked in Celestial too, and I have no shame in saying that during my climb up journey, I ban the Thors, you know, I can ban the Pennies, I ban Moon Knight sometimes, and it really depends on you know, my experiences as I'm going up that rank, like seeing like, you know, because there's so much balance changes and meta updates, you know, like what are these lower ranked players struggling with? And I sort of, you know, I base my bans based on that. I do not instantly climb to the top and like base my bans on those like top 1% picks. And neither should anyone else in the middle ranks. And you know, that's like perfectly fine. But again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. This is just more so as a PSA, you know, food for thought. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys can like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. So take care, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.